Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm your friendly neighborhood web war fanatic, and we have Dale the casual gamer, the legend right here. Thank you, Dale, so much for coming on the channel. I think that everyone that is subscribed to me is probably already subscribed to you as well, but just in case if anyone doesn't know who you are, can you give us a little bit of introduction and just giving your plugins for your channel and everything?
Sure. I'm, like you said, Dale, the casual gamer. I started a YouTube channel, I don't know, 6 years ago, and then probably about 2.5 years, as you know, and a lot of others, took a hiatus, and I was just searching around and found your channel, and we started a conversation from there. So, yeah, just like I said, casual gamer. I chose that name specifically just because I usually don't get deep into games. So very much our game group, we play tons of different games. So it was definitely off the norm for me to fall into Marvel Champions the way I did.
Yeah, no, I am super glad you did because, and I have a lot of channel members that said the exact same thing. It was because of you that a lot of us really understood how to play the game because the Marvel Champions is a pretty, I think it's a pretty tough game to learn how to play. But your videos were so clear, so concise, and it was just very soothing listening to your voice. Just narrating everything for your games.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun doing those, and a lot of great feedback from that. Like, I mean, you start a YouTube channel, I was just trying to figure it out as like, oh, I wonder if I can do this with just a phone, and quickly found out you can't. You really should have at least a microphone too. So, but then found out those two things are all you need. And I think I've been doing it maybe a year before Marvel Champions came out, and I've been waiting for that game ever since they announced it. So,
Gotcha.
because I was in the Versus system before that, which was a competitive kind of like Magic the Gathering type thing. So once that game died, I was waiting for another comic book card game fix.
Perfect. Okay, so I have a just like with the previous episode of the podcast, I have like my phone right here, and I got like all the
Hmm.
questions I'm gonna ask because I'm a newbie at this. So if I forget anything, I can just look back on here and see what we gotta talk about. Okay, so during episode one of the podcast, I brought my wife on as a guest, and she mentioned that her least favorite hero is Captain America. And as you can see, because I'm screen sharing, I have Captain America pulled right here. And he's actually kind of how we met. So I actually like Captain America a lot more now. And I remember from your videos that you love Steve Rogers in Marvel Champions and you love him a lot in the comics as well. So before we begin, I do want to apologize for the slander for Captain America from me and my wife.
Oh, no, no problem. It was funny.
Okay.
And then, of course, from that video, it led me to reading your tier list to find out my number two was on your top tier of hated or
Yeah,
not
yeah.
wanting to play.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
Venom is my, well, at the time was my number two. And probably at any time, Captain America and Venom could have been my number one or number two. So I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. But it just shows how great this game is that two people that love this game can go, I really don't like that hero. And you go turn around and someone else goes, ooh, that's my favorite one. And it's still fun.
Yeah, and I love that, you don't hate me for, hey, not
No,
liking your hair.
it was,
Yeah.
but when your wife said that, I saw your face and I made the same face. And of course, my wife was listening in going, is Captain good or is he bad? You know, and it
That's
was like,
funny.
I thought he was good, but it's been a while since I've played. So,
Yeah. I think Captain America is very strong. He's just, not my personal favorite. And I remember whenever my wife said that, and then whenever we started connecting, I was like, okay, like I'm in the clear because I like Captain America. Like I'm good. And then before we start recording, you told me like off camera that you watched my list, and I was like, oh man, because then Venom is yeah, I kind of blasted Venom on that one because I'm not the biggest Venom fan, but yeah,
mhm.
that's dang. I wanted us to get off on the right foot, but man, that Venom thing, dang it.
No, that's funny. It can be. So,
Yeah.
and that's a great part about the game. I mean, if I ever meet you in real life, I'm definitely playing Venom. So,
Oh, Captain America's your favorite though,
but I
man.
did
Come.
wear this in honor of your show. So hopefully that gets me out of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I got a Spider-Man thing too. Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned that, and you mentioned this earlier too. whenever we first connected that you and your wife actually watched that first episode of this podcast together. I think that is so cool. Me and my wife don't really watch too much. Like I try to, I always have like something Marvel Champions on. And I'd be like, come watch this with me. But she really doesn't watch too much with me. Do you
Hmm.
guys often watch like gaming stuff together? And I think
No,
I've, yeah,
we don't. That was
what?
another rarity. It would just, we were sitting down to watch. I told you we've been watching the X Files again, and I'd already started watching the video. The thumbnail caught me as like, what you like being what married to a Marvel Champions YouTuber, and I was like, well, I gotta see this. So I started watching it, and I was like, okay. And my wife just, I mean, she was sitting next to me playing one of her games on her phone and listening in and laughing right along. So,
Nice, nice. That's really cool to hear because yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know D20 Woodworking and Novels. They're another like really cool like Marvel Champions like content creator, and I love
mhm.
watching their like stuff like whenever they're together, like husband and wife, and they're like playing games and they're just having fun. And yeah, I always wanted to do that with my wife too. But she's really busy, and she's a little bit shy coming on the channel and stuff. But yeah, she's great. She finally came on. But yeah, I think it's really cool to play games together. Although
Mhm.
most of the time it's the husband that likes the games a little bit more.
So that's the way it is in my household. I married a non-gamer.
Oh,
About the only game she'll play with me is Batman Love Letter.
what is a Batman love letter?
Yep, it's out of print now, but I mean, it started. There's a whole series. Love Letter slaps pretty much any IP on it. So I think initially the game, it's like a 16 card deck,
Okay,
and it on your well, you start the turn with one card in your hand, and you just draw a card and play a card, and it's kind of you're trying to either end the game with the highest card in hand or take out your opponent.
gotcha.
So the cards might be look at your opponent's hand. Some of them are guess what your opponent's holding to take them out. So it's a real quick and easy game,
Gotcha.
which is funny, and we get to practice our Batman voice. So
Nice. Yeah, that's nothing what I thought it would be. I mean, so I know that you're a big like DC fan. I
mhm.
thought that like Batman Love Letter you play with your wife. I thought it would be like a loving game, maybe like where you guys, yeah, it
No,
sounds yeah, just like a quick, short, like fun, but violent
yep,
type of game.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. My wife also likes more quick paced games. So we can end in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's like perfect for her. I like it to be a little bit longer, maybe like 20, 30. But
Hmm.
yeah, Marvel Champs with two players. Sometimes on standard it can get 20, 30.
Well,
But
it still take hours depending on who you're going after. Yeah,
yeah, true.
and
Um,
if you put 3 or 4 people in there, you make a day of it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it's really fun for everyone who's engaged. And I said this before in the last episode too, but like for certain people, I love playing Marvel Champs with them, and then for certain people, I like to play, more quick paced games, just because I think some people are more engaged with a little bit of a shorter type of game.
Yeah, and that's one thing too with a lot of people that play solo. They don't realize if you get in a group of 3 or 4 that actions you can. I can use an action on your turn if you say, yeah, it's okay. So it's like if you've got something for big damage, but someone's got tough, I can take an action to do a little bit of damage to open it up. So just that's the neat thing about multiplayer in that is that you're not just going from one turn to another turn to someone else's turn. You can be active on everyone's turn.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's like the coolest thing about playing at higher player counts. And it just feels so nice if like you have like, one big damage attack and you have a freaking guard minion. And then like you're like, what am I gonna do? And your friend's like, hey, I can just take it out for you during your turn and then you can play your thing. And you're just like, thank you so much.
Yep.
It's yeah, on your channel you I don't I know you have some two-handed gameplays and a lot of like, true solo gameplays. Have you ever like back in the day? Have you ever thought about doing like featuring someone else on your channel, doing like a two-player game? And do you play a lot of two-player games or three-player games or four-player games like outside of just what you record on the channel?
It logistics. Even doing something on Discord, I don't think I'd be good enough for setting it up for doing a game and then inviting. Back when I was running the channel, it was seriously. I put a 3 by 4 foot table in the corner of my bedroom. So inviting the guys over, just
Yeah,
and then the microphone issues. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of things to do. I think one of my first videos I did, we were down in basically the dungeon of the game shop I go at. I tried recording like that. It turned out okay, but it's, you have a camera far away at a 4 by 8 foot table. I mean, they could watch us playing around the table, but you really couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's,
yeah.
some people make it look so easy on YouTube, but there's a lot of things going on. Multiple cameras would be nice with a little switch and 4 different mics. That's above my tech level.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, one of the people that make it look easy is you though, and it looks very, I feel like your channel, what you're saying in terms of like the quality of the camera and stuff, I feel like actually looks really good, on your camera quality. And I know that you record your phone. I also
Yeah.
record all my games with my phone too, and I just have like a little mic that I put on the phone, and then like I put like on my shirt.
Yep.
And it's absolutely terrible because I put it on like on this coffee table that we eat off of, and every time I have to like clean the coffee table, and it's like small, so I run out of space, and then I just like barely have enough room to record it. But I think that no, I'm pretty sure that the only reason that I started recording was because I saw in one of your videos that you said that you record your phone, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a phone. I don't have a camera, but I got a phone. Can I just record too? And that was, I think that's like the easiest thing to like just get into because of your inspiration of, just using a phone.
Yep. I went out after several years. I like photography outside too, so I bought a camera finally that everyone else was using and started using it and really realized the phone does better focusing. So a lot of
Oh,
times the camera wants to see someone's face.
yeah.
So if you're doing a top down video and you've got a bunch of cards down there and you pick something up that maybe doesn't have a face on, it's trying to focus on the card on the table because it sees Captain America's face. Whereas the phone kind of goes, oh, that thing's closer. I'm going to look at that.
That's so interesting. So after you bought the like, a nicer camera, did you end up still using the phone or did you actually like switch over to
Yep.
the
I'd use the camera I think I did a few videos where I actually had my face on it. So I had the good camera for my face, but still my phone for the top down.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I love how the phone works. A lot of people use webcams, and I looked into a
Mhm.
lot of that for Christmas, like about getting a webcam. And the phone, because I AirDrop it after I record it to my MacBook, and I don't know how because the coffee table cannot put my MacBook on, so I don't know how I can like set up the webcam to my MacBook. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to the phone. It's easier. I'm just gonna AirDrop everything. Like, yeah. So
Yeah. Actually, one of the reasons why I started the YouTube channel I did was someone says they kind of had a list of everything they wanted to start a channel. It was like, I need $10,000. I was like, dude, all you need is your phone.
yeah,
So it was one of those times where I was home and bored and was like, I'm just going to do it.
yeah,
And I mean, I quickly found out you need to do something about your audio. A lot of those things came in. And like say, you go on Amazon and get that mic. I mean, it's $15. So for $15 investment, maybe $4 for an adapter to go from that to your phone,
yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I probably have the exact same mic. So people used to complain about my audio all the time because I just record the audio from their phone. And then one of my
Mhm.
friends who's like a big like tech guy, he just like sent me like the mic, and he was like, "You should use this. You just connect it on your phone, put it on your shirt, or whatever." And I was like, "Okay," and I did it, and then it just sounds entirely different for the audio. And people were commenting like, "I like your audio upgrade." And I told him, he was like, "Ah, yes, yeah, it's really good." So I think yeah, we just use the exact same thing. It's really good. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions here. And then I'm gonna ask you some questions from some of the channel members as well that have all really missed you. And then I also want to take a look at some of the newer heroes that came out in Marvel Champions because you haven't seen a lot of the newer stuff, right?
Correct. Yeah. Well, once I quit, there were a lot of things going on in my life at the time. So I bought a few packs and I was looking through my collection. I just took it out of the closet now. I haven't played most of the ones I did buy. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that. So I know that you love X-Men. So I was surprised that you had to stop, around that time. And I think that there might be one of the heroes. I don't know if you know all the heroes that came out. I think one hero might be grabbing you to come back to Marvel Champions, but we will see.
I will say this: I did buy a pack last week. I still haven't played it, but it's been purchased.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna guess like later on which pack you bought. I'm pretty sure I
Hmm.
know which one you bought, and it's a really cool hero. Okay, so my first question for you, Dale, is what is your board game background? Well, like when you start playing board games, was this like back when you were like like 10 years old, or is this like a more of a recent thing whenever you were an adult?
Um, I mean, I played board games as a kid, but back then all we had were deck of cards, Stratego, and Risk. Um, so I'm 53, so the board game thing hadn't hit yet. Actually, I got into gaming. I took my daughter when she was like 5 to a comic book store, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Hero Clicks was a game that was being played there, so I tried getting her into it, and then I realized, oh, these games here aren't really for the young
Yeah.
kids. The next thing I knew, I was addicted. So,
Nice. Okay, gotcha. So it's really something for your daughter, and then
yeah,
it took you on the whole train.
yeah.
Yeah. So does your daughter like play with you? Like, is she now like also into it, or she never ever jumped on? It was really just for you.
She played a few games with me. She's now 29, so uh, she likes Batman Love Letter too.
Okay,
We also got into the DC deck building game a lot together, and Space Base. Those were pretty much her favorite games.
gotcha. Yeah, you mentioned Stratego. I actually love Stratego. I actually recently went to like a thrift store and it had Stratego for like $2, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this. I bought it. I played with my wife. She did not like it, and we haven't played since.
Yeah, that was it growing up.
Yeah, yeah. There wasn't. Maybe there was, or there probably was. I guess I just maybe didn't know about like the world of like games and stuff. I think I'm really starting to get into games right now with Marvel Champions kind of being that gateway.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went in with the big one, so.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think
Hopefully.
we were talking earlier that this isn't the easiest game to play. I mean, I just went on Board Game Geek. Just I was curious what it was ranked in, like the heaviness. They've got it. I think it's just under a 3.0. So
Okay.
their scale goes from 1 to 5,
So
with 3 being a midweight game. So for them, it's slightly less
wow,
than medium for difficulty,
that's
which I don't know
crazy.
if I'd agree with.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of all the games that I own, definitely Marvel Champions is like the highest one. Okay, and then my next question is, okay, so we already kind of touched over this earlier, but I wanted to know how you discovered Marvel Champions. It seemed like you were anticipating it, like you already knew it was going to come out before it came out.
Yeah, so I mean, that Fantasy Flight before they got purchased by Asmodee was great at giving sneak peeks of things coming up, and I think it was sneaked at Gen. So I mean, Gen Con for Fantasy Flight years ago was they'd have their Fantasy Flight report, and that's where they would show you, and this is coming out next year, kind of thing. So once that got done, yeah, I sat and waited for a year, had already had it pre-ordered, just
Nice.
waiting for it to come, and then the pre-order got lost or separated in the mail. So went to the store, bought a copy, went home, learned to play, and then my pre-order came, and I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll keep the extra tokens." So,
Nice. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I've definitely done it before for hero packs that I pre-ordered. And I'm like,
hmm,
it's not coming. The store has it, so let me just like go get this right now.
yeah,
Yeah, it's that Marvel Champions addiction. Yeah, the store owners, whenever I do that, they are so kind. Like, I'm on the phone. I'm like, wait, you guys really have it? Because like the places around me don't really have it. And he's like, yeah, man, I'll hold it right here for you. I know how much you probably want this game. You probably want this part or whatever. So I can hold it for you. You just come in and take your time. And they're always very
yeah.
understanding.
That's the way our at our store. I mean, the store I get to, because I mean it's a 40-minute drive for me to get to that place. So
Oh
I call
yeah.
them up. I was like, "Can you hold it? I'll be there in under an hour."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's similar for me because I live in a more city place, but there's a lot of traffic. So it's the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna be there in an hour. Like, can you hold it? And I'm like
Hmm.
trying to race through the traffic to get there. So I definitely get that. Okay, so I have a question from one of our channel members here, and I actually wanted to ask you this question too. We kind of know a little bit right now, but shout out to Sean. He asked, "Do you still play Marvel Champions for fun? And if so, who is your favorite hero?" I think we kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yeah, I looked at, I log on my gameplays. I've been doing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm kind of starting to get away from and get back into solo gaming. So I actually haven't played Marvel Champions since I think it was August. Um, but it's still, I think Venom was the one I would get to, and then of course he was still buying all the new stuff. So I had an X-Men person that I was playing. I don't know if you want to know now or wait till you start showing me stuff.
Oh,
So
I didn't. No, feel free to let me know right now. I didn't know that you played any of the X Men.
yeah, the funny thing was that I got sick at Gen Con. So I went to Gen Con when they came out with the X-Men. So I was there for the pre-release. So I got to meet Caleb, which was
Nice.
an honor. I mean,
That's so
I mean,
cool.
sat down with him and just got to talk to him about, I mean, gaming and life and all that stuff. So that was awesome. So, I mean, I got to play Colossus and what Shadowcat came with that set.
Yeah.
So I got to play those at the events. I played Shadowcat and I played Colossus and immediately didn't like it because of the hand size.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I feel like Colossus isn't your favorite type of hero because I don't feel like you like to flip down that often, and I feel like
Mhm.
he wants to flip down a lot for those armor ups.
Yep. So yeah, he's on the list that I don't get to. But Wolverine was fun, so I played that for a while, and then Storm came out, and that became my X-Man go-to.
Oh, you played a
I
lot of
did
X
like
Men.
Cyclops too, so but Storm, I just liked her ability to change the whole environment for the turn or
Yeah.
until her next turn.
Yeah. Did you ever play Cyclops?
Yep,
Nice.
I played him when I wanted to annoy the person that likes going first. Because
Oh
doesn't he
yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah,
one
yeah.
card that lets him take the initiative?
Yes, yeah, yeah. He can always go first with that one upgrade. I forgot the name of the card, but
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
But yeah, he was fun with his tactics or upgrades he could play in the enemies. That was a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome experience to be able to meet Caleb and play a bunch of all the like new X Men heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And for my channel members too, almost all of them. So I asked them to ask you questions, and a lot of them, instead of even asking questions, they just said how much they love you. So from Sean, in a part of his question, he said that he's going to say thank you to Dale for all his video content, which helped me learn the game. And yeah, almost everyone. Some people didn't even ask a question. They just posted like, "We love Dale. Dale is so great," and just there's hoping and sending their praise to you that everything is going well.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's humbling from a guy that's like, I'm too old for YouTube. I'm just going to get in there and play.
Yeah,
So,
and no, I feel like you're like the perfect age range because I see like the statistics on YouTube, and I feel like for Marvel Champions, I mean like 40 to like 50 is like that. It's like that's the perfect age range for like people that play Marvel Champions. So is your favorite hero now? Is it still Captain America after those few X Men heroes that you played, or did any of them like overtake Steve Rogers for you?
no, Cap and Venom were still my top two.
Gotcha. And one thing that I always notice from your videos is that, and I think I'm similar to you in that way, it's, heroes can be really fun mechanically in Marvel Champions, but who the hero is impacts like how we feel about like if it's your favorite hero or not. I know that you love,
Mhm.
Steve Rogers from the comics, and notoriously, I don't know if it's notorious, maybe just to me, in your tier like videos where you're ranking like your favorite heroes, you always have the Guardians like pushed all the way in the very back. And I want to ask you, has that changed? Are you still like, not the biggest fan of the Guardians, or like have you seen like the new Guardians movies and stuff like that?
Maybe some of my hate for Star-Lord could be from the movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe not the first one, but you might know the one. No spoilers, but he might have done something that was like,
Oh, I actually, so I've seen all of them. We'll put a spoiler. What are you talking about?
um, I feel like they had the glove almost off of
Oh,
Thanos,
yes.
and then maybe something was said, and he went in there and interrupted that process and
Yeah.
messed it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, they pretty much defeated Thanos, right? Like, they had him. And then Thanos was like, he was like all drowsy because Mantis was like doing her thing on him. And then Star-Lord got upset, and yeah, that killed half of the world's population. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So
But
wait, yeah. So is this like the moment where you're like, man, the Guardians suck. Like I'm gonna put Starlet in the very back of my like hero tier list. I don't like him at all.
Um, yeah, and so to start with, yeah, I didn't know anything about the Guardians. I mean, Rocket Raccoon, that always seemed cool. So, I mean, I still liked him, even though he was hard to keep alive. I loved playing with Rocket for Justice. Drax was cool. I know the mechanic they used for him, I wish they would have used for the Hulk. Just
Yeah,
that kind of getting mad and getting
yeah,
stronger
yeah. Vengeance
seemed to
counters.
work.
Yeah.
But
So
still, yeah, they're not breaking the top 10
yeah, yeah, yeah,
unless you're counting Venom. But
yeah.
since he's listed as a Guardian,
Yeah. Do you know so I actually didn't even know about like the Flash Thompson
yeah, I
Venom.
didn't know that either.
Okay.
So that was news to me. I was like, oh, he is a Guardian. But
Yeah.
I guess after he went through and wrecked with your favorite person,
Yeah.
he decided to do some good,
Yeah.
pack on some guns, and go into space.
Yeah. So I guess to you, like the mechanics were just really fun with Flash Thompson, and you just really enjoyed the character in Marvel Champions for him to rise like so high up.
Yep, and I felt like he was solid. He could fight, he could do justice, and he could do both at the same time. So I could make an aggression deck solo and still keep threat under check, or
Yeah.
make a justice deck and still have some attack.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I have another question from one of my channel members from Jasco, and he asked you, do you keep up with the new content? Like, do you know about the new heroes and scenarios?
No, I know the shield is coming soon. Um, I'm reminded at the store every time I go in, hey, did you get this pack? And I'm like, no, I
Oh
haven't.
wow.
I feel like a lot of people too, just it got to the point where there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
It was hard to figure out which one, what am I playing with?
Yeah.
And I kind of got that way too. It was like, well, we tried making themes every time we played. And so it just got difficult, I guess.
And then Jasco also had another part of his question, and he asked you just what new games have you been enjoying lately other than Marvel Champions? I know you've been playing like a few other solo games these days.
Um, One game, the guys from Meet Me at the Table, I think it was Colin mentioned, oh, it's over here somewhere. Jump Drive. It was kind of a from Race for the Galaxy, so they really streamlined it. I mean, it's like a 5 to 10 minute game. I started picking up that because I can go sit down, eat breakfast, put my dishes to the side, lean over, pick it up because basically it's a self drafting style engine builder.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's quick. I can play a game in like 5 minutes solo. I'm still not good at engine building, but I like the process.
Yeah, I actually, so I'm like pretty new to like the gaming space. I don't even know what an
hmm
engine builder is. Do you like build like a kart engine in the game?
It's a mechanic kind of like Marvel Champions is considered a deck construction game. Um, I guess you like, oh, what's the other Marvel game you and your wife play?
Splendor.
Splendor
Yeah.
Marvel. Yeah, so that's like set collection,
Okay.
maybe. So engine building would be you're trying to use the cards to get to build a powerful engine to get victory points.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's not so much car related as you're
Gotcha. Gotcha.
trying
Gotcha.
to kind of like some of the things you do for Iron Man. I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you're trying to build up an engine to where it's like, all right, now he can just take care of anything. But getting to that point, how quick can you get there is the process.
Yeah.
Can you do it in 2, 3 turns, or is it going to take you 6 turns, and by then you're dead? So,
Yeah. 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 I actually love playing Iron Man, like enjoying that process of building out. I know that you've actually been coming around to liking him a lot more as well, right?
yeah, because of him and what was the Ironheart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those two. It used to be Ironheart took over, but now I feel like I, I would like to play Iron Man more.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be up in my top 5 right now if I sat down and did a list again. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love those because the thing with Iron Man, I feel like his kit is so simple, and then you can choose what route you want to take to build it out, right? Like you have like protection with like those tech upgrades, or just kind of
hmm
like ignoring that and just trying to control the threat and just build out his regular stuff.
Yep, he is the one hero that it's automatic aggression because usually, I mean, everyone who watches my channel, it's aggression or justice.
Yeah,
but he's the one changed to the rule. It's like Iron Man. All right, I'm playing protection.
yeah, yeah. So that game, do you have any plans of making gameplay of that game for the channel and the revival of the channel?
It would probably be one of the first videos done. Yeah.
Nice. It sounds like you are like more opening to coming back to YouTube.
Well, yeah. I had some health issues, so where I used to have my recording spot has now turned into a small gym.
Oh,
So I
gotcha. Nice.
fixed some things,
Yeah.
and so I lost my access, and there was also some money, so I sold my computer.
Oh,
So, and I'm just now getting to the point. I talked to my wife and was like, "Sorry to have a game shelf downstairs, kind of thing." So, like right now, I think we spoke. She's upstairs reading a book, so I can have the kitchen table.
oh, nice, nice. Yeah, no, I mean,
So
yeah,
if I get back into recording, it would be me recording at night. So it would never get back to the point where I was just doing 3 videos a week. You're doing more than that, aren't you?
yeah.
I feel like you're every other day or more.
Yeah, I always try to. And I do want to say I apologize for any pressure that I'm putting for you to come back. I mean, we're just all really big fans and we all want to see you back. But for sure, I think the most important thing is just to take care of your health. And, that's the number one thing. Yeah, so I know I'm just joking. Like, if you don't want to come back, it's okay. But a lot of us miss seeing your videos because they are, yeah, just really nice to watch. Like, just put on when I'm eating and stuff like that. So.
Appreciate it. Yep.
All right, are you ready to dive into these newer
Oh, the
heroes
hard
here?
questions.
Oh no, no, the uh, the,
Sure.
the heroes.
Oh, the heroes. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, bring them on.
Okay, so I'm on Hall of Heroes right here, and I've had this screen put up for a really long time. People are like, "Why is it still on Captain America?" So we're on Hall of Heroes. I'm gonna scroll all the way down. So this is also that you played before, and then you played with Caleb, Mutant Genesis, and a lot of these new X-Men heroes over here, and you stopped around like at maybe this point with Gambit and Rogue.
Yep. I bought them both, but haven't played them.
Okay,
I played beside them. The
nice.
guy that I was playing with has used them.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're not my favorite heroes at all, so I'm just gonna skip over them. Is there anyone that you want to like take a deeper dive at?
Um, so why isn't Gambit
So, okay, Gambit in
their style?
particular. Yeah, we can take a look at Gambit. So for Gambit here, I feel like he has really good cards for like everything, right? So like, for example, his Gambit staff here, when enemy attacks, exhaust the staff and do 1 damage to enemy. That's like a really cool, type of like protection type of thing. He has his like throw the card, charge the card, which is really good for aggression. Like he can do a lot of damage with his charged card and his royal flush. And he also has a natural agility, which is really good as a defense event, right? Zero cost defense event, and he can hopefully defend for like all the damage. And then he can also use his Creole Charm. It's only an alter ego to thwart and confuse, right? But I feel like whatever way that I build him, I feel like all the other cards are like dead cards. So if I'm playing a protection build with Gambit, I feel like this thwart card is like never used. And I feel like if I'm playing like aggression or justice, this natural agility, I'm just blocking with allies anyways. I don't want to like have Gambit exhaust to defend. So I just feel like everything is wasted of the thing that I'm not trying to play him in. So he just really upsets me in that way. But I really liked him from the X-Men 97 cartoon, which is why I got him out
Mhm.
again. But I was just like, man, I just wish all the cards I could use a little bit more fluidly, I guess.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you played next to him, was there anything about him that you like particularly like? Are you a big fan of Gambit, the hero?
Um, I think he's interesting. Yeah. And I remember him dealing a lot of damage when I was playing next to him. I feel like I probably was storming that playthrough. But yeah, I just remember basically I was kind of protecting, keeping justice or threat under control while he was dealing all the damage, which worked. So
Yeah.
it was a good team up.
Okay. Do you want to say anything about Rogue's kit? She has some pretty interesting multiplayer stuff. I'm also not the biggest
Okay,
fan of
yeah.
Rogue. Yeah.
Yeah, I really honestly don't remember anything
Okay. So
from her.
Rogue's mechanic, she has this touch card right here. And you could touch a minion, villain, ally, or hero once every turn. Or actually, it's more than once. Only one time with her action, the skin contact here. But she has some card that can move it to another character. And depending on what she's touching, she gains a secondary effect, like a keyword like overkill or retaliate.
Okay,
one or something like that. And every single card kind of works around that.
that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun doing a bunch of trait stuff because she gains all the traits of the characters that she's touching. So if you want to play her like a web warrior, you can like pair her with a web warrior player like Miles Morales, and if she's touching the entire game, you can build a web warrior deck with her and play, and they all like just work out. Cause but she has to be touching Miles the entire time. So a lot of her cards, if you want her to have like retaliate or like something else, then she won't have that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a
Well,
pretty
I've got
fun hero.
something to ask you before I forget. Speaking of Web Warriors,
Yeah.
has there been something to help the original Spider-Man start out as a Web Warrior, or is it still you have to put that trait card on him?
It is still. I can pull it up over here. It's still the War of the Great Web. He has not gotten anything else. Where is that? We can look at Spider Hams. Yeah, that's still the only thing that he has to gain that Web Warrior trait. So it's this card right here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm kind of I've said this a lot on my channel, but basically I think that Spider-Man Peter Parker, he is so powerful. If he were to start with the Web Warrior trait, it would just break
Okay.
the game. Like it's yeah, because I feel like a lot of decks that I use with him revolve around the War of the Great Web, and I give it to him. And I just feel like the deck is like people already complain like they're like, oh, you're just using such a powerful deck, like blah blah. And it's like, what if he had the Web Warrior trait? Like it would be even more bonkers. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I was just curious because that's one of the things I remember when they came out. Everyone was like asking if, are we going to house rule it so that he's automatically a Web Warrior?
Yeah, yeah. I totally get thematically. Like thematically, it's like he's kind of the web warrior, so it kind of stinks that he
Mm,
doesn't have it. But I mean, just like game mechanic wise, I think that's what I look at a little bit more. Yeah.
makes sense.
How do you feel about him not having the web warrior? Are you one of the people that are like, this is outrageous? Give him the web warrior. He's Peter Parker, Spider Man.
No, I mean, I think from a game design, they probably hadn't started on this and had that keyword yet.
Yeah,
So I don't think it was. I'm definitely not going to knock on the creators of this game. It's great to start with. So I mean, those
yeah, for sure.
things aren't a big deal to me.
Yeah, yeah. You
It was
you are.
just one of those questions I knew I wanted to ask you since I didn't know the answer to.
Yeah. I mean,
Because I
yeah,
knew they had made this card, but
yeah. This is all just my opinion, but yeah, I do have like some heavy stances, I guess. And I feel you're definitely more of the casual gamer, like more laid back. You're just like, I'm good either way. Yes, he doesn't have it. Like I'm chilling.
yeah, I mean, if I sit down with a group of people and they say, "Oh, by the way, this is what we do or how we interpret this rule," I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of the greatest things about Marvel Champions that you can just play, and if something makes no sense to you, you can just house rule it. Like I know
Yeah,
one of the first games I played, one of my friends had like the core set and they had Peter Parker Spider Man and they wanted to play it. And at that point, like my first few months playing Marvel Champs, I only played Peter Parker Spider Man, and I was like, no, I wanna play him too. And then so we just house rule like the multiverse rule, and we both just played him. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like when Nebula first came out, the first thing I did was have her attack against
Nebula.
the villain Nebula.
Yeah.
People were like, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Yes, I can."
Yeah, I know that's like my favorite thing. So I've been catching up with the game in the past year, and whenever I first play Nebula, I mean I gotta take her out against the villain Nebula. Like you just have to, right?
Yeah,
Did you do the Venom like Flash Thompson versus the Eddie Brock Venom too?
yeah,
Yeah, I believe I could be incorrect. I think that FFG like recently said something that if the unique rule does not apply to villains and heroes, so they can actually like it's legal to play like a Nebula versus the villain Nebula. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I read that somewhere. So hopefully someone can
yeah.
verify for us.
It's thematic with the movies, so
Oh yeah, it's so the mad with the movie. And there's one more matchup, and I think I'm not gonna say anything right now. We'll like get to it. I think that's gonna be the hero pack that you bought. But okay, let's skip all the way down back to okay. So Rogue is the end of the Mutant Genesis wave. That I think this is the last wave that you like saw cards for, right?
I honestly forget. I'd have to see the next ones.
Okay, okay.
But yeah,
So
I remember seeing those, and I think I own them all.
yeah, if you have any questions and you want to just stop and take a look at the cards, just let me know.
Mhm.
So we're
Oh
gonna
no,
jump
I mean,
into yeah. I really want to get your reaction and see how excited or maybe not excited you are for these new cards because a lot of them I like a lot, and some I don't like that much. But I want to see your take on them. So this is the next wave. It's next evolution for X Force characters. Have you seen this box before?
Um, yes, I do have cable,
Oh, okay.
so I must have bought that box. But I haven't played cable or domino, but I think I've played through the scenario
Okay.
or campaign.
Yeah. Do you play the entire campaign, like all five?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I thought because you're like kind of looking around. I thought you're gonna grab next evolution and be like, it's right here. Yeah.
No, I took all my stuff out so I can look over to the side in case I can't read something. I can grab the card,
Yeah.
or I can go. Yes, I have cable over there, but he's not sleeved. Um,
Yeah. For the five scenarios, do you remember? If you don't remember, that's okay. What was your first impression? Do you feel like that you liked them, or do you think that there it was a little bit, I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. No, that's not it. I've got all the rule books to the side, I think.
Let me scroll down here. So we have it's Morlock
Morlock.
Siege.
Yeah, I feel like I only went through this one once.
Yeah. For me personally, the Morlock Siege and On the Run were a little bit forgettable just because I don't really know these villains. But I really like Juggernaut personally. I think he's very iconic too. He's
Yeah,
over here.
and I think I'm the same as you. As I didn't know those people, but Juggernaut I knew,
Yeah.
and I remember him being a pain. I forget why. I think it must have been the momentum.
Yeah, he has overkill if he has his helmet on.
Yeah, so that was getting scary because I just remember the way me and basic Troy is the guy I usually play with. You're like, well, just defend for me. I was like, if I defend for you, I'm dead because of the overkill.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, well, do it anyway. And I was
That's
like,
funny.
no, take your own damage.
Nice. Yeah, I find myself in multiplayer. Oftentimes I'll have like three allies out, and then the villain phase, they're all just blocking everybody, and I got nothing left at the end of the villain phase. But if it was Juggernaut,
Yep.
I mean, I would just take all that damage for the overkill. Yeah, and then we also have Mr. Sinister. He's also one of my favorites too. Uh, I also like him a lot, from the X-Men lore and stuff.
hmm
I don't know if that's ringing a bell.
And for me, I don't remember anything about him from the comics. So
Gotcha, gotcha.
he was just a 2-2 that had some nasty abilities somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. He's more of like a genetic enhancer type of dude. So he's like trying to like grab all the strongest X-Men abilities and like put them all on for or mutant abilities, I mean, and then put them on himself. So he has a bunch of cool stuff like telepathy, flight, and super strength, and he adds it to himself here with these attachments. And then the final villain of the box was Strife, the Cable clone. I don't know if you remember him.
Nope.
Yeah,
Probably only met him once.
yeah. No, I mean it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Stripe either. I feel like he's pretty swingy. Like he can go really easy or really hard depending on like the luck of the draw. He's not my personal favorite either. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Cable though, so I'm gonna scroll really quickly all the way back up here. So I know you said you saw one of my tier lists. In my Cable's one of my favorite heroes in Marvel Champions, and in my opinion, he overtook what a lot of people would say Doctor Strange is the strongest hero. I personally think Cable is the strongest hero. I think he's the guy. He's the most powerful hero in Marvel Champions. I know that you didn't really do too many like power ring stuff on your channel. Are you
hmm
not a fan of like talking about powers for Marvel Champions? Or, like, do you prefer just fun stuff? Are you okay talking about discussing Cable being the goat?
Oh, I'm just you saying that makes me want to go. Well, I want to play him just to see for myself what his main kit is, and
Yeah,
maybe get online and steal one of your decks.
yeah. No, that'd be really cool.
That's like I said, the deck construction is not one of those things I like. So basically, if people look at my deck builds, they're a lot alike.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm the same way. I don't know if you got on that criticism, and it sounds like what you're saying that you have, but a lot of people criticize my decks, and they'll be like, "Oh, you just run, 6 to 10 allies, and you just play them out, and then they activate, and then when they're down to 1 hit point, you block with them. Like that's so boring." I'm like, I have fun. Like I like winning. Yeah, and I think that honestly, a lot of that was inspired by you, because first playing the game, I mean, I lose a lot, and it was seeing that. Oh, wait a minute. Like if we just do it like this way, like it's pretty simple, but that kind of like puts you on a tempo to like defeat the villain. And I'd rather win than play like a really thematic deck and then struggle the entire game and be like sweating and then lose.
Hmm. Well, I mean, even people that play Magic the Gathering or any of those games like that, or for me, it was Versus system. I was always used to playing on what they call the curve, where it's like on turn one, I'm going to play a one cost character. On turn two, I want to play a two cost character. So then you do the math on kind of how many characters do you need to meet that curve. And for me, it was, I feel like 6 allies is what I needed to make sure every turn I can play an ally to at least help attack or threat or take that big hit that's coming in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I mean for me it's a little bit higher. I love the 8 ally curve. That's that's where I
mhm.
go. Yeah. So the thing with Cable is I think that you'll like him because he plays very high tempo. And I know that you're a pretty high tempo player. I'm more of a slower player and I like to build out. So I do build out with Cable, but it's just so quick. Like I'm already built out after like, 2 turns. I'm like, holy cow. So the way that he works is he has. Do you know about the player side scheme mechanic? This is actually a relatively new mechanic, I guess.
Okay, what's that?
Okay, so basically, it's a player side scheme. It's a side scheme,
Oh, yeah,
but
okay.
you play it yourself. So let me find a more basic one, like the call for backup right here, for example. So you pay 1 cost for his card that you draw in your hand, right? It's just a play card. After you pay 1 cost, you can play it down, and it's another side scheme that's just in play. And if you're playing solo, it's gonna have 3 threat on it. And if you defeat it, it has a one defeat effect. So for the call for backup, after you defeat the side scheme, you can search your deck and discard power for any ally, and it just comes straight into play.
And then I feel like that powers him up for something else. Is that right, too? For
Yes.
every card in his victory display?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, any hero can include the call for backup, this card, and they can clear it off and get the effects. But Cable, all of his cards revolve around the player's side scheme stuff, right? So, for example, even his hero ability, right here, after he defeats a side scheme, you can ready him back up. So now he can clear another side scheme or attack and do damage or throw off the main scheme. His Telekinetic Blast here, it says do 6 damage to an enemy and then 1 additional damage to an enemy for each side scheme in that victory display. So if you clear a bunch of side scheme and they all go in the victory display, then KO can do like 16 damage with a Telekinetic Blast, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, seems like fun.
Yeah, yeah,
So do you build him more justice just to help
yeah,
him get through the
yeah,
side schemes? All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So my favorite thing with Cable is, do you know the card Chance Encounter? I think it came in Vision's Hero Pack.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, so Chance Encounter, basically it's a 0 cost justice upgrade, and you can attach to any side scheme. And after that attached side scheme is defeated, as an interrupt, you can look through your deck or discard power for any ally and you put it in your hand. It has Daredevil's photo on it.
Okay.
So basically, normally that card, I don't think I think it was like a niche card because like side schemes, not every encounter deck has a bunch of side schemes, so you don't get a side scheme. It's kind of like a dead draw. But Cable runs side schemes himself, so he fused the side scheme that you need for the chance encounter. And then basically what I do with Cable is I just chance encounter Nick Fury over and over and over again. I can play him like every single turn. He blocks, draws me cards, blocks again, and then with call for backup, that player side scheme that I saw earlier, I also just get Nick Fury out, and it's just tons of Nick Fury going on throughout Cable.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I think that Cable is the reason why I think he's so strong is because I think he's very consistent. So his setup ability, Soldier X here, you can search your deck and discard off for any player's side scheme and put it straight into play. So every single game when the game starts, you get a player's side scheme that's going to be in play automatically. So if you select call for backup, you will always have Nick Fury turn 1, whether you draw him or not, for example.
We'll have to build that one at some point.
Yeah, if you do, I would love to see it. Yeah, because I think Cable is really fun. So I don't know if that got you hyped at all for Marvel Champions, but we can look on some other heroes. Do you have any more questions for Cable or anything before we jump on? Okay.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and one other thing about this wave, I don't know if you saw this, but all these mutants here, they don't have the X-Men trait, so they only have the X-Force trait. Okay. Anything that jumps out to you so far with the Cable or Domino or anything? I didn't even look at Domino. No. Okay. So we have for this wave we have Psylocke, and then we have Angel, and we have X-23, and we also have Deadpool.
I've purchased all of those and haven't played any of them.
Okay, gotcha. Which one do you? Which one is the most excited one, or which one are you the most excited for, or are you not excited for any of them?
I thought it would be Deadpool, but he got his. After reading through it, though, I was less excited,
Yeah.
and I think I was more excited about X-23.
Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at X-23 first, I guess. Um, Actually, okay. Let's take a look at Deadpool. What about his cards did you not like?
I think it was he had what pink cards was
Yeah.
he had his own aspect or something,
Yeah. Here.
and for some reason it Spider Ham seemed funny and fun to me, but Deadpool did not.
Yeah. No, I mean that
I
is
mean, I never played him, so I don't know. That was just an initial impression when I looked through the cards after buying it and put them in the box.
Yeah, that is entirely fair. I think, I mean, I'm not even gonna say I don't know if you like him. You may completely hate him. He is one of the most polarizing heroes in the game, and yeah, half the community like love him, and then the other half of the community just like absolutely hates him. And yeah, it's the pool aspect right here. So when this was announced, I was also so this is actually my first wave playing Marvel Champions, and I was very worried for the pool aspect as well because I was like a fifth aspect like that completely changed the game, and I was kind of scared that it will like maybe even break the game because I kind of like things being balanced and not having a lot of power creep. But
Hmm.
I personally found it to be very like balanced with the other aspects, even though it's only one aspect in itself, and it kind of adds like this new type of concept. So after playing it, I enjoyed it, but I yeah, I don't know if you'll like it. It's a very high risk type of thing, and I know that Star Lord is not your favorite.
Right, which I was thinking about that too. Star Lord, I didn't care for, though every turn it was getting those encounter cards, and I'm sitting there, I can't. But I really enjoyed playing Scarlet Witch,
Oh,
which
okay.
was all about pushing your luck. And
Yeah.
so it's just weird how some things go, no, that's too much, but that chaos, I'm all for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have two specific buddies. They hate Deadpool. They never even played it, but every single time, like if they see Deadpool, like even in like the stack of cards that I brought, they're like, "Please do not play Deadpool." And I'm like, guys, like I'm not even chaotic. I'm like chilling. I'm not putting chaos on the board. I think that you would not like Deadpool because I feel like his chaos, it's equivalent to Star Lord type of chaos. Like
Yeah.
it's a
I
lot.
mean,
Yeah.
someone that if things don't go right, you can die in turn two. That's not something I'm used to.
Ooh,
So,
wait a minute. Okay, that's a that might be different then. Because Deadpool, so his hero ability here is called the Regenerating Degenerate. When you would die, you instead set your hit point down to one. You change over to Alter Ego and you add a permanent acceleration token to the main scheme. So Deadpool can actually never die.
but his partner can.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's true.
And when there's six encounter cards on turn one and you're not set up yet,
Yeah. No, the thing in Deadpool is that instead of adding encounter cards, he adds acceleration tokens. So there can be like five. I've often,
oh,
when I play
yeah.
Deadpool, I go over, the course that has like five tokens. I go over that and I'm like, man, I don't have any more tokens to play with. And you just use like something else to count it. But Deadpool often goes to like seven, eight acceleration tokens. So the main scheme just adds at least eight threat every single turn.
I'll have to play with someone that abuses him, so I can tell you later.
And if we take a look at X-23, X-23 is also a pretty cool hero. She revolves around a lot around the ready mechanic. I remember you were a big fan of Quicksilver, right?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of people, shout out to D20, he said that, I don't agree. He says that X-23 is the improved version of Quicksilver. He's Quicksilver, or she's Quicksilver 2.0. And I do think she's stronger than Quicksilver. But yeah, she can ready up a lot. So her living weapon response, every single time she takes damage, she just ready up. So that's during the villain phase. If she defends and takes damage, she just ready back up. And then during the hero
Hmm.
phase, if she takes any damage, which all of her stuff makes her take damage, she can just ready back up. So she gets a bunch of like built-in readies to start off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one I need to try too. Because, yeah, I mean, I really like playing, especially with larger groups. If it was like 3 or 4 people, Quicksilver was usually my go to just because he could ready and defend for someone else or ready to help someone get their allies down. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest difference between her, like X-23 and Quicksilver, is that Quicksilver needs a little bit more time to build out, and X-23 kind of starts out of the gate like really powerful and being able to ready a lot. And I think that Quicksilver is stronger late game after being fully built out. then it built out X23. But I think that you might actually like X23 more than him because she's faster tempo.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite card for her, and I think a lot of people's favorite card for her is Honey Badger. It's a 2 cost ally, one thwart, one attack, 2 hit points. So I know you already like that 2 cost. And as a hero
Mm-hmm.
response, every single time Honey Badger takes any amount of damage, you can ready up X23. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so people like to ready up Honey Badger a lot and heal her up, and then every single time she takes a consequential damage, you ready up X23 as well.
He looks like fun.
Yeah, she's really, really fun. Okay, so we're gonna jump off to the most current wave right now. So that's Age of Apocalypse. Have you bought this expansion too?
No.
Okay, so
It's
this is the only
Magic and
one.
Bishop. Yeah, I do not have these.
Okay, so this is the only one that you don't have. Then we're gonna skip it because I want to jump to where we're gonna get you to come back to Marvel Champions. You know that. So the heroes for this wave, it's Iceman, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and I know because I've heard you say this that one of your favorite Marvel characters all time is Magneto, and he came out as a hero. So I wanted to ask you, is this the hero pack that you bought, the Magneto hero pack?
It is. Picked it up last week.
Yes, that is so cool. Yeah, I think you will love playing Magneto. And I also wanted to ask you, do you normally play the precons of the decks? Like, are you planning on playing his precon, or are you just gonna like build a deck right away and just go into it?
I'll play the precon.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of times with the precon, if they have like three of a card that doesn't make sense if you're playing solo, I add more allies.
Yeah, yeah, you can never go wrong. And Magneto, I think he has actually like way more allies than any other precon deck. Um, and I personally actually think that he has the strongest precon in the game of Marvel Champions. Okay, so why I think you'll like Magneto? Well, obviously you like the character a lot. Do you think that
Yeah.
you like the character, Magneto more than the character of Steve Rogers?
There's a lot more saturation right now with Captain America, so but I don't know why I'm just drawn to this villain.
Yeah,
It just it was definitely the movies and the actor Ian portraying him and
yeah,
some of the things in that. So I just, even though he would have squashed me like that for being a normal human,
yeah,
it's just I felt his pain there. So
yeah. No, I love Magneto as a character. Have you seen X-Men 97 by any chance?
no,
No. Okay. So, oh man, X-Men 97 is kind of like the Magneto show.
okay,
So this one season that came out so far, it's like all Magneto. And Magneto, I mean, I think that he's personally like my favorite villain. And he's tied with Cyclops to being my favorite X-Men because I just really like the guy a lot. I feel like that he has good motivations for like what he does. Like he's tried multiple times, like in the movies, just the way you're talking about too, but he's tried multiple times to coexist with humans. He's not like, like a bigot or anything like that. He tries and then he gets screwed
hmm,
over. And it's like, of course, like anyone in that position is gonna like hate humanity after that happens. So
yeah.
I totally feel for him. Okay,
But yes, I mean he starts off. He's got the stats that every good character should have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He has the same style line as Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
And then his magnetic pool, so every single turn as an action, you can discard from the top of your deck until you get a magnetic card, and you add it to your hand. And then all of his cards are magnetic cards. So that's kind of where his main gimmick comes from.
are there any more magnetic in his aspect or?
No, no, yeah. So only the
Okay.
15 identity-specific cards are magnetic cards. So usually whenever he's using this ability, you mill through all your allies. So like there's games on my channel I'm playing, I'm like, ally, 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 no. And then I get like, whatever magnetic card, and I just lose all the allies. So that's like the Venom aspect of the hero that
Yep.
I don't really enjoy. But yeah, he has some really fun and cool combos. And I think where you really like him is that he's similar to Steve Rogers in a way that he doesn't have he's not very streamlined. I feel that a lot of the newer heroes after you stop playing are very streamlined in that not necessarily that they can only play one aspect, but more so that they kind of have to do one specific thing. So like X23, she really just wants to ready up. And whether you're playing Justice or Protection or Leadership, like she has to ready up. You can't avoid that part of her kit. And I feel like a lot of the older heroes, like Captain America, you don't have to stun or confuse. you don't have to like do any Thor in the entire game. You can just kind of do whatever you want him to do. And
Yep.
Magneto is very reminiscent of that. He can really do like any chosen thing, and you don't have to. You don't even have to use his magnetic ability, right? So it's really good because you can get a card every single turn. But there's many turns where I don't use the magnetic pool because I feel like I don't want to mill all those nice allies. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there any card that's sticking out to you so far?
Um, yeah, I liked his armor, where that depending on the card you discard, he gets extra attack or thwart or defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always nice,
Yeah.
especially with a character you can ready with a different card. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So basically after use your magnetic pool ability, if you mill out all those allies, like all the good cards, then you'll probably get all three, and he'll be a 3/3/3 hero for the rest of the round, which is really nice.
mm.
And then the cape is after you use the magnetic pool, you can also ready him back up. So he has that like perma on demand ready in his kit built in as well.
And he's got the healing for when you throw away all your allies. He's got that bubble to soak up at least one hit.
Yeah, yeah, that's so thematic and has Retaliate 1, which I totally love. So I want to ask you, if you were to play Magneto, who would be the first villain that you play against?
I'd have to start over with Rhino. It's been so long.
What?
I know you didn't want to hear that. You wanted to
Yeah.
hear I was going after Magneto. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
what.
remember what he does as a villain.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's fair. Yeah, if you haven't played it yet in a long time, Rhino is definitely a good start. I think that, I'm trying to think what would be a fun challenge for you for Magneto, because I think Rhino, you won't, I don't think you have as much fun, just because Rhino doesn't have as much minions, and Magneto has this card right here. It's called the Wrapped in Metal. So
Okay,
basically,
yeah.
yeah, when there's a minion, he can wrap it in metal, and the minion just can't activate anymore. So you just leave the minion in play, and they'll never activate again. Their text box is blank. And then he has this card. It's really thematic. It's called the Magnetic Missile. So you can discard a minion that has the wrapped metal attached to it, and then you just do 5 damage to any other enemy and stun it. It's like
So
he's
get rid of one enemy to damage another.
yeah. He really feels like he's wrapping like them in metal and like throwing on someone else. Yeah. So whenever I play, oftentimes when I have the wrapped metal and I play the Magnetic Missile, I'll like grab the minion in the wrapped metal and I'll throw it on the villain card because I mean that's what he's doing, right? That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a. Well, how about I would recommend, and feel free to not do it. I'll recommend that you try him out against against Claw. I think Claw would be a more fun challenge because Claw has a bunch of those minions from the Masters of Evil,
Mm.
and I think if you there's only one elite minion in there, I believe. So wrapped metal you have to attach to a non-elite minion. So if you tie up all those minions, you can throw them on Claw and stun him, and then he won't activate too. So I think that would be pretty good for facing against Claw too.
Okay.
Is there any other card that sticks out to you?
Now, I just remember opening the pack and all the two cost basic allies.
Oh yeah. Okay, the game is way different now. The
Yeah.
yeah, the X-Men stuff is crazy. Okay, let me jump over to those. So, okay, these
Yeah.
guys are a little bit weird. So they're all tied into this side scheme right here called the New Recruits, and it's a player side scheme for leadership. So you include it in your deck if you're playing in the leadership aspect. And basically, it's 0 cost, so you can play this card for 0, and you can throw it off for a 2 threat, right? And after you throw it out, you get one of these allies right here, and they're set aside. You add them to your hand after you throw it out this side scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a two-step process to get them. They'll never be in your deck until you defeat the side scheme, and then you get an ally. And after the ally is discarded, it'll go into your regular discard pile. And then when you shuffle up and cycle through, then you might draw them back up again, and you can play them back down.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I can't build those four guys into a regular deck.
yeah. They're really powerful.
Okay.
You're like I'm gonna just put all four in. Yeah, they're 2 cost allies, and they have like the 2/2 sound, which is insane.
Oh,
For
yeah. That's the
yeah.
first thing I saw. I was like, ooh, those are awesome. I have to work those in somehow.
Yeah, there'll be 4 of your 6 slots for the allies in like every single
That's
deck.
right. But now I've got to play leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, leadership
that's still
wasn't.
not me.
Yeah. I was surprised that leadership isn't your like favorite aspect.
No, I play it the least for sure.
Yeah, is there anything about leadership that you like dislike that like push you kind of not really wanting to
I
play it?
like focusing one way or another versus, I don't know. I guess there's too many options with leadership. Whereas I feel like if I'm playing aggression, I know what I want to do. If I'm playing leadership, I know what I want to do. If I did play leadership, it would probably be with a character to where I didn't care much about the aspect cards.
Mm.
Kind of like, I don't know, Doctor Strange. It doesn't matter what cards you draw.
Yeah, yeah,
You're going invocation.
yeah. Yeah, I am excited for you to try out Magneto. Oh, I will say, watch out for his obligation and Nemesis. They are nasty. So the obligation, it just stays in play.
Okay.
Yeah, and then every single time you discard a card with magnetic pool, you take a damage. So if you discard like 10 cards, like 10 allies, you take like 10 damage.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then you're forced to flip over to Alter Ego and Exhaust to get rid of it. Um, but it only gets discarded, so it never gets removed from the game. So it just constantly come back over and over again if you play like longer games.
Yep, I definitely like the original obligations better.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love those OG obligations because oftentimes I like can't get a flip, but it'll give me that free flip, and I just love like flipping down like for free and then flipping back over
Yep.
during the player phase. Yeah, yeah, I enjoy that they added that. I feel like that it's good, I guess, to make heroes like a little bit weaker, but it's less fun to not take advantage and like abuse that mechanic to be able to flip down for free.
You're
Mhm.
trying to stay alive, so you're already at 3 health, and you're like, well, now I have to flip over, exhaust, get rid of that, and I'm still not healthy. But yeah,
Yeah, it is absolutely terrible. Yeah, and then watch out for his Nemesis minion. I've so many times I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wrap him in metal, and I keep forgetting that he has the elite trait, so you cannot wrap him in metal, which is the worst thing because he has the steady toughness and villainous, and when he attacks you, he has another negative effect as well. So yeah, just watch out on that.
all right. So I got to go justice and make sure that encounter cards don't happen on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am excited for you to play Magneto. I think that if anyone can get Dale back in the game, it is the Master of Magnetism.
That's right.
Okay, and then I know that you mentioned something earlier about it, but Agents of Shield is the newest box, and it has not been released yet. So it's announced for February.
I am curious because Miles Morales, he came with a lot of shield cards, didn't
Yeah,
he? Yeah. So I'm curious to see what this will add to boost him up.
yeah. His cards I think go crazy with both Maria Hill and Nick Fury, but Maria Hill in particular. Are you a big fan of like Shield? Have you seen like Agents of the Shield and like the
I
conquest for
haven't
that
watched
stuff?
that TV show.
Okay.
I really need to.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're just not gonna care about these characters at all right here.
Well, Nick Fury's there, so
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Maria Hill, I don't think that you'll like her as much. I personally am really hyped for her because she does a lot of alter ego stuff. So she has all of her stuff can be played in alter ego, like there's just all actions here instead of being a hero action. So she can do damage and thwarting in alter ego, but then the villain would scheme obviously if you're in alter ego. And then Nick Fury, I think, might play more to how you want to play because he seems to be a more of a temple player or a temple hero where you can kind of just like go in and then he can do a lot of damage too with his soft form for his suit. For me personally, I think he looks a little bit too complicated. I can't really even explain him to you. We haven't seen him yet, but I don't really understand
hmm
like his thing. So he has
okay.
yeah, he has a suit form. It's a stealth and assault. And then in hero form, he can like flip from stealth to assault. And then like if you're in stealth, the villain schemes against you in hero form instead of attacking.
Okay.
And then whenever they scheme, he kind of like takes some of the threat and you put it on the card itself. Because he's like kind of, knowing what they're plotting so you can prevent some of it. And if you flip over to assault form, you can remove threat to do additional damage. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Does that
All right.
seem like something that you would enjoy?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say you're costing me money, but that's what watching board gamers on YouTube does to me.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I was very hyped for Nick, like before we saw the cards, but he just looks so complicated to me. I don't like playing complicated heroes. I like to make the decks complicated, but it's because like I
hmm
understand like how to play it if I make it myself. But when the hero's complicated, I'm like I don't know what to do, and I just take too long thinking about it.
Yeah, and sometimes it just depends on how they work. Because I remember
Yeah,
Black Widow. A lot of people just hate playing her, and I kind of enjoyed the thinking of, all right, I think the villain's going to do this, so this is a card I need to prep for next turn and hold on to this. So, but some cards, it's kind of like I don't want to do that thinking game. So yeah, it
yeah,
depends on the hero.
yeah. I actually also don't like Black Widow. But I forgot you might actually really like Nick Fury because he also has preparations too, and his preparations
Okay.
might stack on with Black Widow's, like because he comes with more preparation cards in the aspect and basic cards as well. So a lot of his cards might buff up Black Widow, and he can use a lot of the cards from her pack too, like the rapper response and stuff like that.
Okay. So is he a spy also? I assume he's yes.
Yeah, he has in both alter
Okay.
ego and hero form the shield soldier and spy trait.
Cool. Have they talked about the villains yet?
Yeah. I don't know too much about these villains, so I'm not like the most interested in them. But we have the Black Widow. I forgot her name, but it's the sister
Okay.
of the main Black Widow that we all know. And we have
Mm-hmm.
Bat Rock. I don't know who that is.
Same.
Yeah, so we can skip.
So these guys aren't in the TV show either?
I don't know. I think I watched bits of the TV show in the past, but I don't really know the whole entire thing. So we're kind of watching it through right now, and we're like on season 3-ish. So oftentimes, and especially in the movies too, when I see characters that I know, I do not register it in my head. It just like completely goes past me. And someone would tell me, dude, that's Bad Rock. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, that's Bad Rock. So yeah, I miss a lot of stuff when I'm watching movies and shows. I just kind of like just sit there and just like enjoy, I guess. And then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the coolest thing, the thing that I'm most excited for the scenarios in this box is actually the campaign. So similar to you, I'm not the biggest fan of campaigns in Marvel Champions. I just like playing like, just one standalone scenario. But in this box, the campaign is a mystery. And I think the first time you play it, you don't know like what's gonna happen. I can't really explain it to you because I don't really understand it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's gonna be fun, like the first playthrough, like not really knowing what's gonna be in like I don't know whatever, and then you like find out I don't know whatever the evidence or like the murder. I don't really know. Like it's gonna be some sort of like espionage, spy stuff going on, and you don't know who's like on your side or not.
Interesting. Yep,
Yes.
that sounds cool. Because that was the same thing with the Loki, or when Loki came into one set, because they just showed you three villains. Is like, was there just three in this? And then you play the game and realize it's a surprise who the last two are.
Yeah. I actually don't know this. Are you a fan of the Loki scenario?
Um, I enjoyed playing against him. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
because he was tough because there was so much to go through,
Yeah.
and it was. Yeah, like I said, it was just one of those things. Yes, it was aggravating because you'd hit him and he changed to someone else, but it was a fun aggravation
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. That's cool, man. You like challenges. Yeah, Loki for me is he's like one of my most hated villains in Marvel Champions. I can't get over how long he is, and it's like because an expert it's
Yeah,
60 hit points. I'm like, dude, and then he just keeps delaying you because he'll give you that obligation where you can't make attacks. You just flip down to alter ego in order to get rid of it, and then I think it's called seduced. Basically, like you're just trying to kill him, and then I have like games where I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna kill him next turn. I have to kill my hand, and he'll just do one thing, and the game is 20 minutes longer. I'm like, man, I can't believe he did that.
yeah. The Enchantress. She's an aggravation.
Yeah, she like her one review grabs the seduce too. It's like, oh man, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. So playing it was fun. If I was recording it, then that's a different story because you're.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't remember. I there might be some, but I don't remember seeing a Loki playthrough on your channel.
Yeah, I don't remember either. That's too long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of scenarios are a lot more fun to play in person and with friends. I think this campaign
Yeah.
would be really fun to play as a group. Yeah.
Because the one, who was the villain that it was like you go through time and you actually separate out?
Oh,
That thing would take
Kang.
hours to play. Yes, Kang.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I played a two-handed gameplay of Kang recently on a channel. That like killed me. Like my body was like dead because it was like over 2 hours, and I was like,
Mhm.
man, I cannot. Yeah, it can be rough.
And then 2 hours into editing, you realize you made a huge mistake and can't post it. You get to play it all again. Come
Oh
on.
man, that is the worst thing. Yeah. That's like the worst thing about like, making because when you play in person, I'm sure we make mistakes. Like whenever I play my group, I'm sure that we make mistakes. We win. We don't know we made the mistakes. So it's like, yes, we did it. Like
Yeah.
like we barely skate by. But then in like the playthroughs when we watch, I'm like, holy cow! Like this, I just like ignore this thing the entire game, and there's like a Chrysler, like a Guardman or something like that. I'm like, man, dang it. Yeah.
Yep, it's it happens to us all.
I think I've seen you talk about that a little bit before, how you don't like making mistakes, and then you just like put something on it, like some of the times, but if it's like a big game changing thing, you just scrap the video.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I copy you.
I
I'm the
mean,
exact same way. Yeah,
especially if it was like an expert tough villain, and everyone's never seen him beat. Is like, yeah, I don't want to post that mistake and try to claim I won.
yeah,
You get called out too much. But I mean, mistakes happen, and sometimes they get posted, and you didn't see it. And it's like, oh yeah, this didn't count, but it was a fun watch.
yeah. One really
But
cool thing, the community is so forgiving though, right? Like I think that we're hard on ourselves, like posting a video, but like they're always like, it's completely okay, you made a mistake. Like don't worry about it. I'm like, thank
oh
you so
yeah,
much.
I
Yeah,
mean, they understand it, and it happens in my plays too. When you're starting to put all the cards away, and you realize, wait a second, he had retaliate, or
oh
wait,
man, yeah,
you had a guy with patrol in front of you. You couldn't, so it's
yeah.
like, no, too late now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like you're like, oh crap, I missed like 15 retaliate damage. Oh man. Yeah. Have you ever posted a video and then like I've done this where I post a video and then I watch through it and I'm like, I'm good, it's a clean video, and there's a game changing like mistake. I'm like, holy cow, I completely missed it.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't like the sound of their own voice, so you kind of space out while you're editing. And so things are happening. You're like, yeah, I did everything. And then the first comment is like, you forgot to draw that second encounter card.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, that's kind of big at that point in the game. Yeah,
yeah. It's
sorry.
it's always the first comment. Like I'd be like, oh, someone commented, and it would be like, you made a mistake here. I'd be like, dang it, dang it. Yeah, whenever I rewatch my videos, I always like fall asleep. It's like getting worse now because I'm just trying to like make sure there's no mistakes, and I replay through the game so I know what's gonna happen. And I'm like trying to keep up. And what I've been doing is at night I'll watch it and it'll make me sleepy, and I'll go to sleep from that. But it's a pain in the butt rewatching videos.
Yeah, I think there'd be more YouTubers if there wasn't this thing called editing.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything from YouTube that you miss the most?
The community, like you said, it's especially in this game, it's a great group of people, and um, just talking about games that you love is nice. But I mean, the randomness of being in a game store when someone walks in and goes, "Hey, aren't you that guy? You want to play Marvel?" And it's like, yes. So just that the immediate community, or even like us, for example, it's you're in a different states, we're different generations away from each other, and yet still pulled together by a card game. So yeah, I think that's as an introvert, this is my only time I'm not
Yeah,
is
yeah, no,
gaming.
that's so cool. I totally agree. Like Marvel Champions, the community. I look at like other, so I like have some Lorcana stuff on my channel as well, and the community for Marvel Champions is just way more supportive than like other communities from what I've seen. And I always say this, I feel like people that play Marvel Champions are just better human beings and have better morals than like other people. I feel like everyone's like in real life and online. I will say I've never like had your experience where I go into games where people are like, "Hey, we're Fanatic, I know you, and let's get a game together."
Yeah, it happened. Weren't you sponsored by a game store? I think that's why I thought you were on the East Coast.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huge shout outs to Meeple Professionals. All right, we can plug them
Okay.
here. Yeah, they're like a New York type of thing, and they like bring to like taverns and like bars. They like bring the local games for vibe over there. Cause I'm not
Hmm.
sure, but I think that New York maybe has like less like local game stores. It's like because it's like so condensed and like city like. So then they bring all
Hmm.
the stuff over to like a bar, and you can have like you meet up with friends and play there just because there isn't space and there is no like games that are close by that like people can just go. But I'm not sure. I've been in New York once. I don't know if there actually is a lot of game stores over there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been there once too, and it was too busy to even notice when you're trying to drive by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking on community, can I read some of the community comments for you?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I told people to give me questions to give you, and this is what they said. So, FYI, none of these will be questions. There's no more questions here. These are all just comments. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is from Toto Gobi. Huge shouts to him. He said, "Wow, that's really exciting that Dale's gonna be here, and it's awesome that you guys are in touch. It was a sad day for me when Dale retired, but I'm glad he prioritized what's important to him and it sent me on a journey that led me to your channel, like to my channel. And I can't wait to hear what he's been up to. So yeah, I want to say thank you, Dale, because I got the subscriber because of you.
Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. Toto, is that who you said it was?
Yeah, his name's Matt.
Yeah, I'm just excited. That was one of the hardest things leaving YouTube was going, I'm disappointing people. But part of me also went, oh, there is 800 videos. And it's still amazing to me that even 3 years later, new people are watching those videos from that long ago and still getting into the game. So
Yeah,
that's always great to hear. And I'm glad there's other YouTubers out there like yourself that takes the game to, I mean, you're building decks for people and posting to what the Marvel deck database.
yeah.
So
No, I
you
mean,
can take the hard part of building decks out and someone can just go look at what you built and take it. I mean, that's awesome for new players that don't like the deck construction part of the game.
no, all my decks suck. Don't play my decks.
But you're
Yeah.
busting myths. You're doing
Yes.
stuff. You're beating the hard people.
I do want to say I don't think anyone's disappointed. I don't think anyone said that they're just disappointed, even though I'm like probably peer pressuring you. I think that we all are just excited and we want to see you come back, but we're not like it's okay. Like what I mean. I think the most important thing, like what Matt said too, is just the most important thing is to take care of your health and take care of you. And it seems like things are on the right track for that. So if you do come back, I mean, it's gonna be the greatest like return ever, right?
I hope if I do, and when I say if I do, I may have already started looking into it, so there might be a video, but it might not be Marvel Champions.
That is okay.
I think I'll leave that to the Web Warrior expert to keep those plays going.
No, you gotta no. People are gonna don't say. People are gonna hate me now. They're gonna be like, "Wait,
Oh
what?
no, no.
He's not posting Marvel Champions because of Web Warrior."
That's my way out.
No. Yeah, and then I have another comment here from Scott Gwine. He shouts to Scott. He said that it was Dale's videos that helped me get into Marvel Champions. Being able to watch him play and describe rules was a huge help. I can't wait to see you guys chat Marvel Champions.
Cool. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, shouts to Scott. And we also have a comment here from Nar Antlers. And he says that he thinks it would be cool and fun if you guys, like us, built a deck together. Maybe later on, I mean, you guys could each play it, like have a card draft or something like I did with Ancient Slumber, like a tier list thing. I can explain that a little bit later. Basically, we just have like, I did something else with another content creator called Ancient Slumber. Huge shouts to Ancient Slumber. But basically, we like had like a tier list and we would rank the traits in Marvel Champions, like Web Warrior, Avengers, like blah, blah. And then after I would rank like Web Warrior, he could move the Web Warrior up or down. And if he
Okay.
moves it, it's like locked, and then I can't move it again. But he skips his turn if he moves it. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, would you be willing to come back on the channel? And I actually have this series that I did where I ranked every single card in Marvel Champions, like allies and supports and upgrades. And I was supposed to do that for the new wave Age of Apocalypse, and I've been delaying it. I haven't done it yet. So I was wondering, would you like to rank all the allies that came out in this new wave that you have not seen or played with in a tier list with me? But we will kind of compete, right? So like, if you give your opinion, like I know you haven't played the allies, and some I haven't played with either, but we just say like it's like an A tier. But if I disagree with you, I will move it to like S tier or B tier, and we can see if we can like argue and debate ourselves to try to like get them where we want them to be.
Sure, we can show everyone how wrong we are to have your viewers tell us what's correct.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the main thing. Whenever I do those lists, people are like, "I respect your opinion. I think you're wrong."
Yep, because for me it would be, oh, that guy costs four. He's on the bottom.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that I did too. So I ranked like almost every two cost ally. I was like, well, it's two costs, so minimum B tier. I just put it B tier. If it has a good effect, I put an A tier. And people are like, you are way overvaluing a two cost ally. I'm like, guys, it's two costs. I can play it and do something else. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
we might be too similar on that point.
yeah, we could just be agreeing on every single thing, and isn't there's like no debate.
Yeah, we'll try that out and see how alike we are there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it may just be us vibing and just agreeing on every single ally, but that
Yep.
sounds like a
We
fun.
disagree on the heroes, but the allies we might agree on.
Yeah. A huge shout out to Nar Antlers for the question though. Yeah, and thank you
Yep.
for setting us up to do another collab. I'm super excited for that. Yeah. All right, Dale. That's all I have for you here. Do you have any questions for me or any other closing thoughts or anything?
The only other question I have for you is I've said this for a long time that Aunt May is the best support card in the game. What are your thoughts on that one?
Easy, easy. I totally agree. It's I love how simple it is. It's so thematic. She's in no Spider-Man. She's not gonna heal him. She's not gonna feed him. It's only for Peter Parker. You exhaust recover by four. That is insane. I do have a counter argument question for you. So
Mhm.
there's a card called Project Rebirth in Venom's kit.
Yep.
And every time I talk about how great Aunt May is, someone comments, no, dude, Project Rebirth is way better because you can choose to either heal 3 an alter ego or you can draw a card instead. What are your thoughts on that as a Venom lover?
I would still swap out that to have Aunt May in my Venom deck.
Yes, yes, you heard it here, guys. Dale the Casual Gamer says Aunt May is better. It's a fact now because Dale said it. So,
Well, cool. Thanks a lot for having me on here. It's definitely a lot of fun, something I wasn't expecting to do. So,
yeah, no, I
and nice
was.
to just reach out in my community again.
Yeah, I am. I mean, thank you so much, Dale. I appreciate you so much for coming on, and I mean, it was an honor to have you. And I was so surprised that you commented on that video. I had no clue that
Well, I had to. Yeah, it's yeah. Just see what the wife is. I'd be afraid to have my wife on camera. It's like there's games everywhere. It never stops.
yeah, yeah. I was a little bit scared too. All right, thank you so much, Dale. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys all later.
Thank you.